How's it going, people? Welcome back to AFTV and welcome back to Box to Box. I'm back again, Manchester City this weekend, and what better person to bring than Big Steve. My guy, how's it going?
Brilliant, mate. Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant.
Come on, I had Matisse here last week, Big Steve this week, the Big Six members doing their thing.
Big Six takeover, innit?
Come on, you got your channel up and running now?
Yeah, it's very early days, but we're getting there with it slowly. But yeah, no, everyone's been brilliant and the reaction's been good, so yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to do something in your channel soon. You're going to be on mine soon. The channel links are going to be in the description below, people, so come and subscribe to both channels and look out for the content coming this season. Like I said, me and Steve, regulars on the Big Six. Look out for that if you haven't already. Steve.
Yeah, man.
This Saturday, lunchtime kickoff, Man City Arsenal. You're going, right?
Yeah, I'm going, yeah. Well, you've not had the greatest of starts, but you put 6 in last night. So, So you looked a bit of a threat, a bit better than the first 2 games of the season. I'm confident. You know, I think what I've seen against Norwich was a lot better than what happened against Tottenham. Yeah. We've got another week's training under our belt, so I expect us to be a bit more ready. But, you know, it's a big game, innit? It's Arsenal. I'm expecting a bounce back from somewhere from Arsenal, you know what I mean? Them first 2 games of the season, disappointing. The fans are getting on the case. They've gone to West Brom last night, they've scored 6, which is, you know, to score 6 anywhere is good. Oba, I can't say Aubameyang.
Yeah, you tried on the Big Six.
I'm struggling with Aubameyang. So, Oba looked sharp last night. Pepe looked sharp last night. I think we've got the tools to do it and get the job done. I don't think it's going to be a walkover. I've had a few Arsenal fans messaging me saying, oh, you're going to do this, you're going to do that. I don't see that at all. But at the minute, after the Tottenham defeat, we just need to get 3 points on the board. Yeah,
very true. And when you did lose to Tottenham, I said to everyone, listen, that's their first loss, and they're not going to lose twice in 3 games. So, you know, very much going into this game, I already had the feeling of a loss coming. We haven't scored yet in the Premier League, you know.
Yeah.
And when I first asked you, you was kind of struggling to get out what you expect from Arsenal this weekend, and that completely, you know, justifies the situation we're in. It's hard to know what you're going to get.
I said it on my story. I said, look, Arsenal could turn up like Brazil and wipe the floor with us. No one would blink an eyelid at that. You know, you look at the squad that they've got. It's not a bad squad.
I think a few people would blink at that, but yeah.
Yeah, but we're not. We start slow all the time. Last season we got beat off Tottenham. Then we got done off Leicester at home 5-2.
I remember that. Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So the City fans are typical City fans. We're a bit like typical City could happen here.
Yeah.
You know, we're not as Manchester City fans might come across as like a little bit arrogant and that, but it ain't arrogance. That's just like, we're putting the shield up because behind it, you know what I mean?
It comes part and parcel.
It does, but we the same old Man City can shoot themselves in the foot. But I just think it's all about preparation, and we're listening to Pep first few games saying a lack of preparation. He got players back late and they wasn't quite up to fitness and stuff like that. I'd sort of look into that and think, right, we're a bit off. So Kevin De Bruyne's still injured, Foden's still injured, Grealish is a new signing. But we did look good against Norwich. But no disrespect to Norwich, they're not Arsenal.
Of course.
You know what I mean?
Is De Bruyne ready for the weekend, or he's still out?
No, he's injured.
Oh, okay.
But Arsenal's got players to do it. If they click into gear, you know, I mean, Arsenal at the minute, it's mad. You mustn't know what's turning up.
I don't.
And that scares me though as well, because I don't know what's turning up. If I can see 10 games and you're getting walloped every game, I'm thinking we're walloping these.
Yeah.
But when you see, you know, I don't know. I think sometimes if you back a dog into a corner for too long, you can get bit.
Well, in and around our poor form last season, the first half, November, December, we still, you know, pulled out a win against Man United. We pulled out a win against Chelsea coming into the new year. So yeah, even amongst the bad form, there were still big wins in and around that time last season. So yes, potentially there is a, you know, the risk factor there. But being an Arsenal fan, Steve, you know, hearing you talk about potentially Arsenal wipe the floor with us, we haven't wiped the floor with a big team for.
No, I know that. It's just. It's that Leicester game that sticks in my mind last year.
Yeah.
Chest was out. We're going to do it. Next minute, Pep makes some mad decisions. Nathan Ake's in there. We're caught on the counter-attack. Next minute, we're 5-2. Don't get me wrong. The reaction to that was unbelievable. We went on the big run. We spoke about the Big Six, and it got us to the league. But I'm confident we'll beat Arsenal. But I think Arsenal will have a boost with last night's result. The signing of Odegaard, the signing of Ramsdale. Fresh faces around the place sometimes gives the place a lift.
Yeah, it does, yeah.
You know, I've seen the City boys training this morning, the pictures, they look good, you know, everyone looks like they're enjoying themselves. So I'm just looking forward to a good game of football, and I don't care if City win 1-0, we just need the 3 points.
Yeah, that's what it comes down to. Listen, there's a few days left of the transfer window.
Yep.
The big news over the past week, Kane has come out to say he's staying. A lot of us expected Kane to, you know, move over to Man City at some point. What was the sticking point in that deal not going through? Was it just the price tag? And
from a Manchester City point of view, he goes against what we've been buying for the last 10 years. We're buying players that are at a young age developing, and potentially they can grow with the team and they become more valuable. There's not many players we don't buy who are not now increased in value, and his age. But then when we looked at it, we lost Aguero, and I thought, right, well, Pep's probably only got a couple of years left. He's thinking, we'll just grab Kane, we'll get this Champions League one now, let's do that. That's what I was thinking in my head. But as we know, it's all right, people saying to me, Manchester City's got the money, just pay the money. They're not reckless with the money. They've walked away from a number of deals because of 10 or 15 million difference.
I agree with you on that, that is a fair point, because a lot of people do say, you know, Man City's ruining football and whatnot.
It's not fantasy football, you can't just do that.
Yeah, and you look at your big buys before Jack Grealish, it was in and around the 60 million mark.
And it's not that. If you do that, you're opening the floodgates to all them players knocking on Pep Guardiola's door and saying, hold on a minute, you've just gave him this, why am I not having that? I won you the league, why am I? And then that's it, you can't do that.
Do you think that's something that's happened at United? Because I actually do. I see some of the fees they've spent over the last 8 years, I see some of the wages they've given out, and that's led them to, you know, a rough financial position.
At Man City, under Sheikh Mansour, we were a club yo-yoing between divisions and floating around mid-table. We had to make a statement, so we had to be reckless with the money to get the people in. We went and got Tevez, we went and got Robinho, we had Adebayor. We had to get them players in. We had to go and break the bank. We had to do that because Man City was building. Now Man City's a total different animal on and off the field. It's one of the best run clubs in the world, and now a lot of players, it's a privilege for them to play for Man City. Before looking at the project, they thought, hold on a minute, I can increase my wages here, but they probably wasn't looking deep into it. But now Man City's walked away from a few deals and moved on, and I commend Man City for that, because I don't think that reckless spending can get you anywhere. And if City's walked away, because Daniel Levy's a shrewd guy, we know that, and he wants to keep his prize asset. But what my argument was, get the money in, rebuild Tottenham, because Tottenham is more important than Harry Kane, and Tottenham needs a rebuild. He's obviously gone the other way. I don't know if there's money there. They've kept Harry Kane, but I think it's left City in the mud this week a bit. I think we're like scrambling now for a striker. Everybody knows we've got 100-odd million in our pocket, so everyone's prices are tweaking.
Makes it difficult.
I just hope City's got a plan B. They usually do have. You know, we've moved on from Maguire, ended up with Laporte and Diaz and people like that. We moved on, so I just hope, fingers crossed, we've got a plan B, because without a striker, we don't win the league.
As soon as the Kane rumours died, the Ronaldo rumours raised their heads. So any truth in that? Or
I don't know.
It's out of nowhere.
It's mad how it's come about. Ronaldo's a United player for me. He always is, you know what I mean? They still think he's on loan, United fans. They're still thinking he's coming home one day and it's all going to be rosy in the garden. So if he comes and pitches up at Man City, mate, let me tell you now, a few of them Reds will be swapping shirts and coming over to the dark side. Do you know what I mean? But you can all come over and welcome, you know what I mean? It is what it is. But at the end of the day, I don't know where the links come from. For me, my heart is a Red. And I always see him as a Red. Unless he comes to City, wins us the league, the Champions League, and scores shitloads of goals at Old Trafford, whips his top off, kisses the badge and all that, then he's a blue, innit?
Gives it all of this, Tevez and
all that stuff. Tevez just instantly went from, we're unsure about you.
If you're going to join a rival, that's how you do it in terms of
and
Tevez.
He loved it, Tevez, and he bought into it, you know what I mean? But Ronaldo, can I see Ronaldo swapping sunnier climates for Manchester, the rain? I can't see it.
We had our own, you know, legends coming over from rivals. Big up Sol Campbell out over there.
Big Sol,
yeah.
Cosmo, this will eclipse that.
It will.
Because it will be meltdown. Just as they fixed the roof.
Because he's won the
They've got rid of the rats off the pitch. They've give Old Trafford a lick of paint. They threw the signings at the fans. They've got them all on side. Next minute, Viva Ronaldo's in the City shirt, and that's it, man. It's going to ruin some lives.
Happy days.
Definitely,
looking at Pep Guardiola, he came out recently to say, well, I don't know if he actually came out recently to say, but he has mentioned about 2023 being the year he's going to take a sabbatical or maybe think about pastures new. Do you still believe that?
I believe that, yeah.
Yeah.
That'd be 7 years at Manchester City.
More than any other club.
He's done a fantastic job. The guy's under immense pressure all the time. He needs a break.
Yeah.
He's under more pressure than the players. You only have to watch the documentaries on the TV and you see him after away games. He's looking at stats and tactics and things. It's funny because the other night there was a lad queuing up to get in a nightclub in Manchester, early hours of the morning. Pep Guardiola rides past on a bike. So the kid gets a picture, what you're doing and all that. He said, just have a ride around the city centre at night.
Clear his head.
It clears his mind. The pressure of the guy. Listen, Pep Guardiola can do what he wants. If he wants to leave, he's already our greatest ever manager. He'll leave with our blessing. And yeah, who knows, all these people on the internet that slag him off, he might go and get a lower league club and take him up to a, you never know, do you?
Yeah, it's true. But listen, Steve, I want to ask you, and we'll move a bit over to Arsenal as well. Listen, Arsenal and Man City have never really been, well, I say really, never been rivals in the sense that we're competing for the same things. Our competing days were over by the time your competing days begun. How do you look at Arsenal? Because when you started to, compete, when the money started coming in and you made some of the signings, we talked about Clichy, Sanya, Adebayor, there's Nasri in there, Paulo Torres, a few of them. Is that the 5? There might even be more. How did that come across from Man City's viewpoint as a fan? I mean, you have at that time you saw Arsenal winning league titles prior.
Yeah.
You've just had a new owner come in, and now you're taking players off Arsenal.
It was mad. We just had a chat off air about the pitches around the place and the players and the teams and that. Fantastic. And I grew up watching them teams of Arsenal, the Invincibles and stuff. The football they played was brilliant. Thierry Henry, all them players, They were fantastic. And then all of a sudden, when we start taking players off Arsenal, first of all, that was a time when people are looking at it thinking they've gone for the money, the mercenaries.
Yeah, I remember them times.
Do you know what I mean? But maybe they sat down and maybe they bought into the project. And at the end of the day, it was surprising because Arsenal's always been top tier English football. Even when I grew up, I'm 40 now, but I remember 89 and Anfield and things like that. So I know. I've been to Highbury loads of times. I know what Arsenal's about. I know the standing in the game. But it was surprising when we started taking players. That's when alarm bells started to ring for me. Looking outside in, thinking, hold on, all's not rosy there anymore. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? It was like United once was. They were a big fortress. Arsenal's the same. The fortress getting penetrated. People are coming in, taking what they want. It never would have happened years ago, but it started to happen, and then you're only going one way after that.
Yeah, and that way is the way we've seen 2 8th place finishes in a row. Them 2 8th place finishes have come under Mikel Arteta. We talked about players playing for both clubs. Mikel Arteta, assistant to Pep.
Yep.
His first managerial stint at Arsenal Football Club. A lot of, noise around it, a lot of hope, a lot of optimism. It just hasn't clicked yet. First, your opinion on Mikel Arteta from your standpoint.
Well, as you know, on the Big Six last season, I was saying, look, bide your time with him. Just I'm a great believer in time. I know fans these days are very impatient, but you look at the likes of Alex Ferguson. If he wouldn't have had the time, that whole era at Man United didn't happen. Yeah. Mark Robbins saved him his job at Nottingham Forest. They had the banners out for him. Then you look at Klopp. He's come in Liverpool. He was told, relax, you've got the time. So the fans knew then they had the time. So they didn't get on his case when he lost a few finals. They got the time. They got the rewards. Pep Guardiola come in. The whole of the media was saying, oh, he's got to win this, he's got to win this. He didn't have to win nothing. Because in-house, in the Man City channels, we'd seen Pep. We know what the chairman said. It's a building thing. Let's win things domestically first and before we start going to the next level. And that's what's happened last year. There was 69 available games to play in all competitions. We played 68. What a season. It's classed as a failure to some people. You didn't win the Champions League, though. We won the league and the League Cup. You know what I mean? We got beaten in the FA Cup semi-final. We got to Champions League. Yeah. For Manchester City, that's unbelievable. And I mean, look, I'm not going to go on here now and tell you what your club should do. You guys are in the mix of it every day. You've got the feeling. I'm in Manchester. I feel that club. It's in me. Yeah. I know. You know the same. You look at Arsenal. You're there every day. It's in your bones. Yeah. You can see if it's going the right way or if it's going the wrong way. But I just think...
modern day football in general, there's no patience.
It's ruthless modern day. Because say for example, he he's got a young kid coming through now, and he thinks, you know what, I'll play him next week, and then he'll think, nah, I can't, because if we get beat, I'm gone. So there's no time there. So he can't blood any youngsters. He can't try any new shapes, because if it backfires, which sometimes it does, he's gone.
Do you think we made the wrong decision going for him in terms of where we was at that time, how low we was, and going for a manager that hasn't got any experience in that role? Do you think it's maybe the right person, wrong time? Because you obviously have, you know, high opinions of Arteta.
Yeah, I have
from his Man City time. So do you think it's the right person, wrong time, potentially?
Well, the Arsenal board and the Arsenal fans knew what they was getting. He was unproven.
Yeah.
So if you get a guy in any job in the world who's unproven to come in, even if he's driving a forklift truck in your factory, he might make a few mistakes because he's never drove it before. But you've seen him and thought, well, I've got the potential.
Yeah, you got it.
I know it's daft comparing that, but if you get him in a football club, he's unproven. A, he's going to make mistakes. B, he's learning in the job. And C, you know, he's got to have time to implement his styles and that. If you can see little things starting to tick and lock into gear and you think, you know what, yeah, then he's doing it right. If it's a complete failure and the whole place looks like, look at Man United under Mourinho and that. Yeah. The place stunk. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Look at Tottenham under Mourinho. It stunk from high, but from the kit man to everyone. It was not the place. If you can see little chinks at Arsenal, keep with him. If you can see it going the other way, get rid of him, but be prepared to start again. Sweep the decks out. You're going round the merry-go-round, and then you drop him right off, getting back on again, and you're going after the whole thing again. You've got to give someone time. You've got to give signings. You've got to give this, and it would become tiresome for me. It must become tiresome for you.
Yeah, it definitely has. And I think this summer, that point you say about whether you see little bits starting to work, I think that's where Arteta's slipped in a sense. This summer, you know, an outlay of 130 million. You go into the season, Chelsea and Man City are one thing, Brentford is another.
I get it.
And we haven't seen enough moments or transitions or processes on the pitch to say that's what Arteta's brought. And I feel like that's why a lot of the attention has swayed to him and Edu. Edu's under an immense amount of pressure as well. And I think when you talk about a Klopp, for example, I think Klopp was supported by people that were experienced, whereas Arteta's supported by a man that's also inexperienced, and he's supported by a man who's also inexperienced. Our CEO, he wasn't a CEO of a football club before Arsenal. Director of football, he wasn't a director of football before Arsenal, Edu. Same with manager. And I think when you have an experience seeping through in abundance...
No, you're right. It's happened at United. Give him the jobs for the boys. Oh, Darren Fletcher's this.
Oh, yeah.
Michael Carrick's this. Man City didn't. They brought two guys in from Barcelona. Tixi Biggerstein, Ferran Soriano. Set up the City Football Group. So it's a group of clubs. And they oversee all the transfers are done as a group. It's not Manchester City don't have their own scouts. The group has the scouts. So everything gets put in a central pot. They sit round the table whenever they do, once a week, once a month. They identify the targets. He won't fit in at Man City. He's not good enough, but he'll fit in at New York. New York need a left back, or China needs a left back, and then that's the model of Manchester City. The way it's structured is the model for world football, or how it will be. I think globally, I think people will set up these groups, and they will start to take teams all over, and it's a money-making machine. You know what I mean? You can blood players. You can't blood players in the Arsenal first team. You can blood them over in New York. You can blood them into Belgium, into Holland, and then people see them, and you can make a quick 10, 15 million here and there. You know what I mean? That's the future.
I saw a documentary on Tifo Football. I don't know if you watched that channel, but it was about Man City, the owners coming in, the City Group, the American franchise, and so on.
I need to watch that.
And how it all aligns to what we see now with Manchester City Football Club. How they've come in a different way, and they've kind of opened the market in a sense.
And that's what frustrates me with people when they say, oh, Manchester City, you're an oil club, you've got no history, you've got none of this, you're not got none of this. Listen, you need to give credit to them men.
They're building a big football base.
They're building it, but they're doing it proper.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong, they've spent money. We had to do. You're not going to just get a team and say, right, well, we'll spend 10 million this transfer window and then go and win a league. It's not going to happen. But you name me another industry in the world where you get penalised for investing in your own business. The teams that are in debt, are winning things, and the teams that aren't in debt are getting penalised.
It's crazy.
You know, if you have a shop and I have a shop, and you've got 10 vans and I've got one because I can't afford it, that's just business. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? It's not all this about fair and all. It's not fair. Listen, football's not been fair for years. It never will be.
Yes.
But you know, Manchester City owners are putting money into the football club. They're not taking it out.
And they're building
That's
something
the difference.
there, and you can see what's potentially, well, not potentially to come is here, but potentially to develop more. On this game this Saturday, Steve, let's kind of round this video up with Actually, before I ask you for a prediction, one Arsenal player that you'll take at Man City, who would it be?
Saka.
Saka. I thought you were going to say Tierney, but Saka.
We do need a left back. Don't get me wrong, but
Saka's obviously got his future ahead of him.
Yeah, I like him. He gets me off the edge of the seat. I watched the game last night, and I like him. I think you're going to be hard pushed to keep him. I think.
We're going to try. He's going into he's going to have 2 years left next summer, so don't come sniffing around, Steve.
We're sniffing, mate.
Don't talk to your guys in City and tell them to make a bid. Leave him with us. We need him for now. Prediction time.
I think City get the job done. It'll be 2-0.
2-0, yeah?
Yeah.
That means 3 games, Arsenal, no goals, no points heading into international break. I'm going to go for a loss as well. I'm going to say 3-1. I hope we get a goal and I hope we put up some sort of a fight. I just can't see anything other than a loss, Steve. I can't lie. And it's a shame because the way the season started, the way the window's gone and the way the Kroenkes have managed this club and owned this club has resulted in me not having a desire to go to as many games as I used to. And every season gone by before COVID, I would have been at the Etihad this weekend. And this season in particular, if I was at Etihad, me and you could have done a bit of content outside the stadium. We could have, caught up prior to the game.
All I can say to you is this: I've been there times 10, worse than you've ever been. Division 2, York City, getting beat, coming out Macclesfield Town, Stockport County getting beat. I've been them games. Lincoln, we mentioned it on the Big Six, and I was driving home, and my family would say to me, "You got work in the morning. You just come in at 4 o'clock in the morning. What are you doing?" And it's like, it was because one day I knew in my head, I didn't know if I really knew, but I believed that it'd be worth it, you know what I mean? And you look at it, it's not that bad. You got to get your love for football back. I get it, I can sense it. It's not a quick fix. You just need to fall in love with football again. My advice to you is, it's been a tough year, on and off the field.
Even Turkey in the Euros, it's done me over.
Turkey didn't help you. You're at the lowest of the low. Just go for it, man. Get behind
the only way's up.
Yeah, the only way. You can't get any lower than this. Well, you can, but you can't really. But just go for it, man. Get your mojo back.
And before you just round up, sorry, one more question that I just thought of. Did you ever go through a period at Man City where you was part of a protest or challenged an ownership or challenged a manager? And what advice would you have for anyone, including me or Arsenal fans? Something we can do to maybe not make our voices heard, but make ourselves heard. Maybe merchandise, maybe TV, maybe going games.
What happened with us, it's totally different now. In them days, we just basically, we watched the game. There were people trying to get in the director's box, Peter Swales and all that. And we had protests outside the ground, demonstrating on things and all that. And we got the local newspapers got behind us, and we managed to get him out. But we got Franny Lee, who came in, and he was no better. Yeah. I just think back the team. And I know it's hard to say that, because then you think to yourself, you know what, we back the team, and then they think there's nothing happens. But the team's your team. It's not their team, it's your team. You back your team. There's nothing worse than seeing banners in grounds, get such a body out and all that. Back your team on the pitch on match day, and then after the game, do what you need to do. Yeah,
because banners and all that are second thought. Every football fan wants to go to a game to enjoy first and foremost, and I think you're right with that. Steve, love for coming on.
Pleasure, man. Pleasure.
Like I said, people, I'm going to be on Steve's channel. We'll probably do a combined 11 if I can fit any Arsenal players in there. I will. Maybe a Tierney. He did say he needs a left back.
We get Saka in at left back.
Yeah, there you go. And we'll do a video on my channel too. Both links in the description below. Make sure you go support both channels. Love for the love as always. We'll be back again next week. Take care.